I'm like, that never happened. I never said I was gonna do that. What are you talking about? Actually, I don't care. Don't want to read you. Get out of here. Well, hello. Welcome back to my channel. Trishana here to talk about some friggin' goals. So first, I am going to reflect on my 2023 goals, see how I did there. It's fine. I laugh, but it's whatever. You know, I am very much a person who, when I see people talk about, like, I don't know, setting goals differently, or they're not gonna do goals because it like stresses them out too much, or they feel like a failure if then they don't meet their goals, I just cannot relate, because if I'm not gonna meet one of my goals, I just change it or delete it. I'm like, that never happened. I never said I was gonna do that. What are you talking about? So I don't have that same like anxiety around goal setting. I'll give up, I don't care. So I didn't like meet all of my 2023 channel and reading goals and stuff, but I did fine. The first one was a book budget of $700, and well, yeah, no. I ended up spending like $1,200 on books this year. Now, if we take out the one major splurge I had, which was the Shadow of the Wind Folio Society edition that was $500, then I did meet the goal. Then I'm like right there. But, you know, I'm a little over, but barely. That's the most expensive book, like, by fucking far. It's way more expensive than any book or even like box set or anything I've ever bought. And that was just because I reread that series this year and just obsessed, and it just happened to be timing right around the same time and being like, I need to get this while I can. So I did. And next I had a goal to complete at least 5 series, and I did that. I actually completed 7. Yeah, I completed 7 series, so yay. Love that for me. Granted, one of them was a series of novellas / like short stories, and actually 2 of them were series of novellas. But whatever, the rest weren't, it's fine. And then I had a goal of reading or getting through 30 books that I own, that I haven't read in my unread owned TBR. And I read 23, DNF'd 8, so I picked up at least 30. I just am an avid DNFer, so I DNF'd 8, and then I actually also just unhauled 8. There were 8 books that I owned and I had not read that I decided, actually, I don't care. Don't want to read you. Get out of here. So I picked up 39. So I'm pretty happy with that. That's 25% of what I had at the start of owned unread, which was 155. Actually, I unhauled 9 because there was one I had forgotten to mark. So I picked up 40, which is 26% of the original 155 I had of owned unread books. So very happy with that goal as well. And then I had some kind of stipulations for myself of, for every 5 backlist, I will allow myself to pick up 1 new release from 2023. And that got away from me for sure, because right now I have like some math, a formula. New release can read, I am behind by 6.4, so I need to read like 7 backlist before I technically like am allowed to read a new release. It's whatever. And then I also had every 3 books I read from my owned books, I will allow myself to buy 1 more. And I'm behind by 13 there. So it is what it is, you know? And then I also just wanted to read some more nonfiction. And my formula I had there is every 10 fiction books, pick up an owned nonfiction book. I didn't necessarily always pick up ones I already owned, but I'm good on that. Like, I'm okay with my nonfiction. I did read how much nonfiction? I read 7 nonfiction books. Pretty good there. 2 more fiction, and I would need to read another nonfiction. So I'm actually pretty pleased with that. Pretty pleased. I do want to continue to keep that up and try to read at least 7 nonfiction next year or 2024, but We'll see. And then I had my pile of possibilities, like reading challenge for myself as a goal to like pay attention to that and try to read that. And I won't get into each book that I had on my pile of possibilities, which was just kind of my year-long, like very loose TBR. Just books that I want to remember and not like get lost in the sauce with and just kind of forget about because out of sight, out of mind. I don't see them. I don't pay attention to them enough on my shelves. So I had a total of 56 books on my pile of possibilities, and I ended up reading 34. And then there are several that I ended up like DNFing, and a few that were on the list that were part of a series that I read the first book and DNF'd the series, that kind of thing. But yeah, so 34 out of the 56 were read and out of the way. So I'm okay with that. I'm pretty happy with that. There's a few stragglers that I just didn't get to, but I kind of figured that would happen. And the ones that I didn't get to, that I have on my own TBR, like those will be on my pile of possibilities in 2024 as well. And I'll just do a similar thing. I think this year though, I don't have quite as many on my pile of possibilities. I think I did 25, 19, 20. I have 20 that I put on my pile of possibilities this year. Because this year I'm just going to have, well, I'll get into that in a second, actually. One of my 2024 goals. So yeah, I'll just get into that now. Those were all my 2023 goals. I feel pretty good about it. My 2024 goals, I'm bumping up my pick up blank number of owned unread. I'm bumping that up from 30, which is what I've done the last couple of years, to 40, and really utilizing the pile of possibilities because goal number 2 is a low buy year. I want to do a low buy year just in general in my life with all things. The biggest thing for me is DoorDash. I need to rein that shit in. And then books. I definitely do want to do a low buy year for books. I'm not saying a no buy because let's be real. I'm going to allow myself like free reign on pre-orders of like sequels I'm really excited about. And I will allow myself to buy books with store credit when I unhaul books and take them to the local bookstores. If there's store credit I have, I'm going to allow myself to use that and acquire a new book. Because for me, it's not an issue so much of, I do have limited space, but I have a lot of empty space on my shelves right now, so I have room to grow into my shelves still, and I unhaul pretty frequently. So it's not really like a thing of I don't want that many physical books, but I do want to keep it like under control. And I'm just the type of person where if I start getting too many like owned unread books on my shelves, it just like stresses me a little bit. Like there's just the underlying like background in my head, like stress of like, dude, you have so many books that you haven't read. Why are you buying more books? It's just a thing, you know, if you're not like that and you're like, I don't give a shit. I have half my shelves are unread books. Awesome. Love that for you. But for me personally, I'm just like, it stresses me. So want to keep it under control. And I'm going to just try to use the library way more. If I literally cannot get a book from the library, can't get a NetGalley e-arc if it's like a new release or whatever, then, and it's something I really, really want, I'll allow myself to like get the Kindle version or something like that. Or if it's like an indie book that I can't go get like store credit, I can't go to the local bookstore and get it, I have to buy it online, you know, bookshop.org or Barnes & Noble or whatever, then I will. The ones that I definitely know I'm going to be pre-ordering are The Burning Kingdoms #3, which is The Lotus Empire, Ending Fire #3, which is called The Ending Fire, T.J. Young #3, which I think comes out, Dowry of Blood 2, maybe. I do have the e-arc of that I'm going to read. And then Amina #2, if that comes out in 2024. And then I just have my yearly goal of reading 50 books. I typically read at least 70, but I just always set my goal at 50, just so, I don't know, it doesn't stress me out. Again, how I am with goals is like, I'll change it if I need to. I'll keep it low so I know I can meet it. And then catch up with or complete 7 series. My goal last year was to complete 5, and I completed 7. So this year is going to be catch up with or complete 7. then that should be very doable, especially the catching up with one. Oh, my 30-second vlogs, I want to get consistent with that again. I fucking like dropped off the face of the planet with that like halfway through this year, and I don't know why, so I want to get back into doing those on my channel because I like them, and I like having like the end of the year one too, and this year I'm just really not gonna have that too much, so that's that. And those are the 2024 goals. Not very many. Really just not buying a bunch of books, trying to use the library way more, and picking up a little bit more of my owned unread, seeing my shelves as my very own little bookstore, you know? Reading 50 books, catching up with and completing some series, and doing my 30-second vlogs. And that's that. Keeping it easy and simple for myself. Let me know down below what some goals you might have for yourself, whether it's with your reading or just your life in general, if you want to share. Are you like me and you need to cut back on food delivery services? That's honestly the biggest thing I spend money on. Like, I spent like $1,200 on books this year. Yeah, that's $1,200 I could have put, you know, into my savings or whatever the fuck. But over the course of an entire year, that much money isn't like making or breaking me. I don't even know what my DoorDash spending would be, but it would be embarrassing and I wouldn't want to tell you. I know that much for sure. Yeah, I'm always curious like what other people's goals they have are and whatnot, especially with your reading, you know? Are you someone like me that does just kind of like a general, like a low, like this amount of books to read in a year? Do you not set one? I do set one. I don't know why, because like I don't necessarily need to really. Because like I said, I always set it really low at 50 where I know I'm going to read at least that many books. So it's kind of like, why even set the goal, I guess? I think it's just fun on Storygraph seeing like the little progress bar. And then once I beat it, being like, haha. It's just like, I like the visual of it, I guess, you know? Like, comment, and subscribe if you feel so inclined and you haven't already. As always, thank you so much for your time. Hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.